Education, Laurie Kilmartin.
Begin.
Okay. How was your week in comedy?
Non-existent. Literally.
Wow.
Remember last week when I said I don't have any sets and you said, you'll get lots of sets. I get any sets, no sets. It's Saturday. I'm thinking about going down to just kind of hanging out. See if I can just hang out at Flappers, maybe get in. Do you have a set tonight, Saturday?
No, I had like nothing this week either, except for Friday. I had two.
Okay.
And so I went, my last spots were Saturday night, and then I went like 6 whole days without doing any comedy. I had a set, but apparently there was a Dodgers game right near the set, and they didn't know when it would start, and it was on the weeknight, so I was like, let's try it another time.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And I had to go over jokes on the way to the improv like a fucking open micer. You know,
right? Because you hadn't done because you couldn't just do it by rote because it wasn't just in your head, your set list.
No, yeah. Plus I was trying to, even though, I was going to be basically remembering jokes from last week, I was also still trying to try a couple new tags I thought of in the shower.
Right. I came up with some new tags while I was walking the dog because I can walk the dog again because my foot is almost better.
Yay!
Which is good news.
What's their diagnosis? I
didn't go. Thursday morning, I went to my chiropractor. I was like, maybe
he's not a foot doctor.
He's not a foot doctor, but
I know he probably thinks he is.
He's an all kind of bone doctor. So he did a slight adjustment on my feet, and then he was like, you have to also. And this is funny because the gardener guy who pulled on my foot when I fell, like the first guy who was like, he's like, I said, hey, stop pulling on my foot. I'm going to go to a professional. And he said, well, don't forget to do this exercise. And so over the last 5 weeks, I have been doing this exercise where you just move your toes. He's like, make sure to remember to exercise that thing because you don't want it to stiffen up and thus no longer be usable. Right. And that's what Howard, my chiropractor, also said that. He said, don't overtax it, but get out of the ace bandage, get out of the boot, and just try to just use it lightly. And then if it's sore, wrap it up again, and but just get it out there a little bit more. Use it a little bit more. And so that's what I've been doing, and it's actually been working really well.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear a highly underpaid gardener gives the same advice as a chiropractor. Who do you respect more, the chiro? Come on.
And I'll tell you something. I told the chiropractor that, and he said, I knew a guy who was a doctor in Mexico. Mm-hmm. And he was a chiropractor and a medical doctor in Mexico, and he had a chiropractic table in his garage that a buddy of his that he heard that you could go to him for $20 and he would set your broken bone or he would fix you, and then you would go and then be like, oh well, he's set it, you're fine, we're gonna give you not 2 pieces of wood. Like it's an old Western.
Who's saying this?
Howard told me a story about a guy he knew. My chiropractor told me about a guy he knew who went to a guy in his neighborhood who used to be a doctor chiropractor in Mexico.
We are probably headed for this again. Just
the falling
shamans and witches that can fix some of your problems because healthcare will never be solved.
Let's say this: the word shame. I have been my social media. Welcome back to Facebook, by the way.
Well, let's do that later.
And go listen to your album, Corset. So,
okay, you want to talk about it now?
Yeah. You talk about that. I'm done with my foot.
I woke up. I forgot what was it, Tuesday, and they're like, "All right, it's out." I'm like, "What? Oh, I didn't realize we're already at that date."
Yeah, 16th.
You know what? It's when you're not employed, the days it's all 1 month. It's all just October until it's November, So I was like, oh, fuck. And it's right now, including today when this comes out on Monday, it's streaming for free on Pandora.
Yeah.
I was like, So how much does that net me income wise if people can stream it for free instead of buying it? But I guess that's a strategy that I don't
It is
understand.
definitely a strategy, and Pandora is great. I have a lot of people who come and see me who have only listened to my stuff on Pandora.
Okay, so it gets people to see you at a comedy club, but the plays themselves don't really get you money, correct?
They do. They do get you money. It's not a lot of money. It's not like the, you know how Sirius XM is
Period.
$15 a spin.
Why isn't it
Pandora.
15? Well, I guess it's different because each listener is downloading it, so you can't do $15 a spin. But anyway, it seems like, I was like, oh, all right, but but a lot of people aren't on Pandora. A lot of people
Or on
told me they are
Spotify.
not going to download something and they're going to wait. So it is available for sale. For I don't know how much is it? $9.99. How much are albums
Probably.
there? Or
Yeah,
$12.99, something
yeah,
like that.
on Amazon? Yeah, they're
Whatever,
probably
iTunes. Yeah.
yeah, on Amazon or iTunes. It's
So
yeah.
comedy albums have not gone up in like 20 years. Basically, they're the same price. What a
All,
fucking steal, right?
yeah, yeah. I mean, if you're lucky, they're 17.99, you know? And but I
What do you
think
mean? Are they?
mostly
Wait, how much are they?
sometimes like
Hold
I
on, I'm
bought
gonna
an
look it up.
album. Yeah, look it up.
I
Look it up
wonder.
on iTunes. Yeah.
As soon as upgrade to Big Sur, just fuck off and just show me where.
What even does that
Stop giving
mean?
me orders. Can't I just look something up?
Right, right.
Um. Okay. So here's what I'm saying though. Please buy my album.
Yes. Yes. Just
Okay.
buy it and right and request it if you can
Sure.
on
But here's the thing. Like I would appreciate it.
and review it on iTunes.
Sure,
Review it
review
on
it, give
Amazon.
it 5 stars, please. Tell people why you like it. I'm not begging for it's not a GoFundMe. It's like you're getting something. You're
Oh yeah.
getting 10 years of curated work from me. And I
Right.
still even like some of the jokes that are on the album, which is fucking huge.
That's amazing. That is an enormous moment
Okay?
right there.
So you're getting something. This isn't a charity donation I'm begging for. You're getting something of quality. And it would help me get a little income. I don't know how much I get from an album because the producer, 800-pound gorilla, gets half, and then so I get half of it, but then half I had give a percentage to my manager, and then iTunes takes their chunk, so I'm probably getting like $2 or $3. It's not a lot, but I mean, maybe if a ton of you buy them, it'll be something.
I feel
But
like your Venmo is Laurie Kilmartin -3.
Dash
Uh
one.
-1.
What are you
Okay.
talking about? Why are you talking
I
about my Venmo?
Because I think they should just send you $11 if they've listened to it on Pandora.
Oh, sure. That's a great thing to ask for, and I will do that later. But here's my point is that if the album like does well on charts, then dumb fuck club owners that don't know how to book anything out of their own instincts and
Name
instead
names. Name names. Name names.
well, they'll go, oh, maybe she'll bring somebody in because her album's doing okay. All right. So
Yeah.
it would help me work more. It's not going to help me be rich. It's going to help me work more. So
Right.
I just want to keep working. Okay.
Right.
And
Right,
if you
right.
listen to my album, I'm pretty fucking good and I should be working. Sorry, Jackie. I'm not yelling at you. I'm yelling at our dear listeners.
So if you go to JackieLaurie.com/JackieLaurie corset.kilmartin. Seriously, just fucking go get the album.
It's really easy to find. Corset, we all know that word. Okay. CORSET. I hope you know my name by now. Laurie Kilmartin, if you're
Oh,
a
yeah.
new listener. And, it's like 50 minutes, I think, of pretty good comedy. Pretty
Yep.
good. Pretty good. I'm not a genius. I do my best. I'm very, I have a
I
dark
beg to differ.
sensibility, you know?
I beg to differ. I would say that some of your jokes are literally genius. They are genuinely fucking like unbelievably funny. So
Well, thank you.
anyway,
And as are you, but I didn't want to do like just a back reverse compliment. But yeah,
too
you guys should
late.
be buying both of our shit because we haven't quit yet,
No.
despite the industry demanding we quit. I get emails every day from comedy clubs, from CAA, from movie studios. Please stop being in the business.
Get
Please.
out. Get
Get out.
out.
We don't like you. We stopped liking you when you turned 35, okay?
Right.
Why can't you take the hint? I just got an email from Ted Sarandos, the CEO of Netflix. He wants me out. Okay, so please keep me in. Just keep me in.
Yeah.
Keep me in the business.
All right. So I would say this is that you're going to find that the money that you make is mostly sound exchange money. It
Right.
won't be from the
Right.
I literally just have signed a contract with 800 Pound Gorilla for them to deal with the video.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Mm-hmm. And I'm like, it'll be fine. Everybody, it'll be fine. Ooh, I also, so 800 Pound Gorilla sent me a hard drive to
Mhm.
put all the videos on so that I could
Send it back to them.
send it back to them. And all of a sudden I got an email from them saying, hey, Amazon says they lost that hard drive, so they're sending you another one. So they sent me another one, and then I got the first one, like you do from Amazon, right? It finally came, right?
Heck yeah.
Yeah, you would think. We finally found the price point that Amazon wants their shit back.
Oh.
Yeah, they were like,
I thought
oh,
you put one over on Bezos finally, but no.
nope. Turns out $400 hard drive, he wants that back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I've been trying to figure out how to send it back for 3 days. 3 days trying to figure it. Oh,
Well, if you hadn't put this on the podcast, I would suggest that you say it was stolen. That's what I would suggest.
oh, it never
And
came.
that's what your father would suggest, by the way, as well.
Oh, which is another reason not to do it. Thank you so much for doing exactly that. It's I will so yeah, so I'm trying, like today I just recorded something and put it on YouTube Shorts, Laurie.
What'd you do?
I just did
What
I was
is YouTube Shorts? Is that a different version of YouTube? A
yeah,
variation?
yeah, it's a 15-30 second version. Yeah.
What the fuck? I can't keep doing these.
Right.
I
Well,
can't.
that's what you do. I did it on TikTok, right? By the way, forgot to caption it because you can caption in TikTok.
Okay.
Put it on Reels. I took the TikTok. I brought it into another program. I put like little symbols, little stickers over the TikTok images. Put it on Instagram Reels, and then I took that same image and I put it on YouTube Shorts. We will see, and Twitter to see if anybody gives a shit. So I put it all on all 4 of the places. And I assume that Instagram will push it to Facebook, Jokesmith, my Jokesmith page. And I'm done now. But I was going to do a reel. I never know what to do when you talk to people.
Right.
Like I'm doing it now. This is a podcast.
This is a conversation. Correct.
Right. So me just talking to the camera was like, hey, I made soup today. And I said lentil soup, and I accidentally said lintel. And then, so I turned it into a 15-second, I don't know how to say the word lentil. Anyway, so whatever. I was like, maybe it'll get 2 million views because the hilarious lintel will be the...
Sure. You never know what's going to hit. I mean, why don't you have an Armenian grandmother character and then have a guest star on
Mary Basmajian's?
Mary Basmajian's Armenian aunt TikTok show, and see if you guys can join forces.
She doesn't need my help, and I don't want to have an Armenian grandmother character. Though, hey, I got to sign an NDA, Laurie. Very exciting. I got to sign an NDA.
Can you put it in the chat since it's just me?
I can't.
I
know.
You'll
So,
tell me later. I get it.
Right.
I
You get
understand
it.
what an NDA means. You'll tell me.
Right. Just but I will say that so I did the Uncabaret.
Yeah.
And a woman came up to me afterwards and she was like, "Do you do any voiceover work?" So it's a voiceover job.
Oh, hey, cool.
That I auditioned for.
It's coming alive that you created on Ron Funch's New Year's Eve show. That's awesome.
That's what, and I said to her, "It's on my vision board. I made a vision board like a tiny nerd bat."
Yeah.
And she was like, "Well, let's see what we can do about it." And so she got me this audition, and I don't know what'll happen, but it is a very it's a web comic that Andy reads. I don't think there's 1 jillion web comics. I don't think I'm breaking an NDA by saying that they're going to turn possibly a web comic possibly into a possible TV show.
Oh, sure.
So,
So like from webtoons or something?
yeah. Yeah, or
My
wherever
son
it
is
is.
like highly
Into
obsessed
web
with
comics.
web.
Yeah, I'm sure he's big
Yeah.
time into web comics and
He
stuff.
yeah, he actually made an animatic that was that of somebody walking, and my friend Cheryl, who used to work on Kung Fu Panda and King of the Hill, King of the
Oh,
Pride,
yeah.
King of the Hill, and Father of the Pride, said it's as good as the animatics they used to receive for the show. So
Yep.
he's like,
Well,
it's only
it,
2 seconds long, but I mean,
that's fine. It probably took him a half an hour to do it.
hours.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's
forever.
the shoulder, the whole body's moving as
Yeah.
it's walking, and I'm like, you drew every fucking line
That's
of
it.
that.
That's
Shocking to
huge.
me. Yeah.
And so Andy, they made Andy, my husband, the head of the game design department at the university he teaches at, right?
Yeah.
It's a tech college university, right? It's a
Mhm.
university and it's really good, but it's so the game design, and I think it's only a semester job or a couple semester job. But he has been trying, he actually found, he thinks, he's
Yeah.
like, I was looking around the game design department and it is a white male sausage fest over here and all the teachers. And
Right.
so he's like, I have got to find some women game game designers who are willing to teach and who aren't already in demand because they're goddamn unicorns. And I was like, so it was actually good because on the thread they suggested that Danielle Radford, who is listening right now, hello Danielle Radford, former
That is
comic of the
so
week.
creepy. Just let people be anonymous while they listen.
Who doesn't want to? I want people to say
She
hi
just
to me.
crawled
She's a
out of her
great
skin
comic.
just now hearing her voice and your seductive hello. Come on.
Come on. Hey, how's it going? What? See, shouldn't
No.
I do voiceover? I've creeped you out.
Do
Okay,
it.
so it's Halloween, you guys. Anyway, so
These
but he
weren't
found
scary creeps. But yeah, go ahead.
he might have found one, but I'm anybody who knows women who make video games who might also be contract workers who want to teach should ping me, and then I will, they should at least apply, right? That'd
You know
be
what? Definitely. And I find that the people that listen to our podcast, there a higher percentage than normal of are women in male dominated professions that have
yeah.
nothing to do with stand-up comedy. A lot of engineers and stuff like that.
There's plenty, and they're everybody knows and or is a person of color who's very creative, or a woman who's very creative, or someone who isn't a straight white dude and straight cis white whatever all the words.
Great cis white man.
Thank you. Other than that, I guess Bill Maher was annoying today. Alex Baldwin shot somebody.
That is so horrifying.
It's horrifying.
And first of all, the woman Hadalia Hutchins, I think her. I hope I'm getting her first name right, but she's 42. All right. And she just graduated from AFI, American Film Institute, in 2015. So she graduated like when she was like 36. And so I kind of like speculated, oh, it's a second career. Somebody going, hey, fuck it, I'm going to live my dream or whatever. Before this, apparently she was a journalist. Like she had a really interesting life and a life experience that you could bring to a film. And she was very respected. Like every article you read, it's more jaw-droppingly like, what the fuck? How many balls can be dropped at once? Like no one jumped in. It reminds me of 9/11 where you're like, oh, let's see, you simulated this whole thing and you didn't check anything, and people didn't want to learn how to land planes. No one just made a call about that. Like it was like a series of what? No one did anything, and then this happens,
Yeah, and well, I mean, the scuttlebutt is that these were non-union prop masters,
right?
And that that a lot of the crew had already walked off the set.
Yeah, that morning. apparently.
that morning because they had not been paid in 3 weeks and there had been safety issues and they hadn't even hired a medical person for the set. And so there was just one, and this woman, she has a kid.
Yeah.
And I mean, the whole thing is just a debacle. And
Baldwin's a producer on it, so he's
Right.
responsible for this shit. He's not just some dumb actor that was given a prop and accidentally shot it, which
Yep.
could happen as well. That could have been to anyone, because
that could have been the end of it. Yeah.
Yeah, someone just gave Baldwin a gun, but he's a producer, so he knows there's labor problems. He knows they've already complained twice about some kind of problems with guns and safety issues prior to that twice. 2 complaints or 2 problems came up prior to the shooting. Like, you fucking knew.
Yeah.
It's
You're
inexcusable.
complicit in
Everything I've
so
read,
many.
inexcusable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
But yeah, just the worst. And
Oh, and then somebody
what?
But I sent you that tweet. Somebody, we're not saying
somebody.
who.
We're not saying who, but she riffed on
Well,
what it
yeah,
was. Could have been anyone.
She made, comics.
It could have been any of us.
Could have been.
Right. We could have thought that it was, because I could have thought that was funny and tweeted that. But
Had it been outside our profession, it probably would have been funnier, right?
Right. Right. Being in the entertainment industry definitely hurts it.
And it's a woman, and you're like, oh, I know, it must be so fucking. The other thing I was thinking, it's one of those jobs where it's very hard for a woman to have that career. It's like 5% women. It's ridiculous. Yeah. It's way worse than stand-up, right? So you and I and many female comics have been in a situation where you're like, this gig sucks. I don't feel safe. I will finish this week out. I'll finish this thing out, and then I'll never do it again. I can
not
see
gonna work
she's
with
probably
these
telling
people.
herself, let me just get 2 more weeks shooting with these dumb fucks, and then I'm out of here, and I'll never work for these assholes again.
My God,
because it's hard to get work when you're a woman, you know?
That is exactly. God damn it. That makes me even angrier, because how many gigs have we both done? Sat through that. Just going, it's dumb. I'm just going to not be in that part of the club. I don't want to talk to that person. I'm going to make somebody walk me to my car. I'm going to make somebody check out the condo before I go in.
Mm-hmm. So a comic tweeted a joke, it was a fine, serviceable joke.
Okay, joke.
Also tagged another comic in it, and I think it was like, "What the fuck? Get me out of this joke!" Because the tweet came up, and I'm like, "Whoa, that's unwise professionally to tweet that." So then I just wanted to see, because it had been on my phone for a few seconds. So I'm like, "Is this getting any traction?" So I just wanted to see if anyone had commented, like, "Take this down immediately." And I hit the tweet, and it's like, "This tweet has been deleted."
Oh my God!
So
moments
within
later,
a minute, somebody made a phone call. Get the fucking thing off the internet! Oh my God, that was so funny. Thank God they did.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And they heard it, and they took it down, and now it's down.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you just you're just putting words together, and you don't realize, maybe this isn't the right audience for this joke.
Right.
About this thing that just happened.
Right. And it literally feels, there's moments of too soon. I don't know.
Yeah.
There are, and it doesn't take long, and then it'll be fine. But until then.
Really. Yeah. And then it'll be hack. Like, you want to hit that sweet spot where it's not too soon, but it's not hacky. Because the Alec Baldwin jokes are coming, and they'll be forever, right? Yeah. So you want to wait just a long enough time where people don't think you're a monster, but you get a clever one in there. It's a dance that every comic on social media dances every day.
Yes, in 4/4 time. So so I didn't. What did I do? We did. It was an impromptu comedy brunch. Essentially, a couple people came over. And came to the diner and hung out. That was fun. So I got to see comics. I didn't get to do any comedy. But I got to hang out with comics.
I saw last night. I was at the Improv, and then I went to Jetpack.
Okay.
And so I saw Tony Kameen was at the Improv.
Oh, fun.
like one of my oldest friends in comedy. I've known him. We've known each other since we started in the late '80s. A San Francisco guy. He's from Palo Alto. No one is from San Francisco, guys. We're all from the suburbs around or Mountain View because he's got a Google joke. Anyway, so I picked up a date at the Punchline in San Francisco in
Oh, cool.
March or April. I forget the exact. I mean, I'll let you know. You don't have
Yeah.
to buy tickets yet, but I think
Yeah.
Tony's gonna feature. So we
Oh
can
my God.
be
That's
united.
awesome.
I love seeing him. You know what? So, so I did the gala a couple years ago at Just for Laughs, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, yeah.
so I recorded a set and they put it on, you know, the CW, which I assume no one saw, right?
Right.
No one who has CW.
Right.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But so now they chopped it up and they put it on the internet and they destroyed a joke. They're like I used to have a joke where I'm a single mom and I just tried mushrooms for the first time. Not because
yeah.
I want to get high, I'm trying to lose custody of my son.
That's
Okay.
the joke.
That's the joke. So this is what they put on the internet. I'm a single mom and I'm trying to lose custody of my son. It makes no sense.
They're trying.
They took out the
the
joke
middle.
part.
Right, because they wanted to put it on some clean channel that you can't mention drugs. So
they took-
why fuck with it?
They took the engine out of the car and just put bumpers up and said, take this for a drive.
Yeah,
What the fuck?
yeah.
So I commented under the video. I'm like, this isn't the joke. I don't want people thinking that's my joke.
Right,
This
right.
isn't a joke.
No, that's brutal. Hey, let's take a break, by the way, just so
Okay.
we know what the heck is doing, what's happening. And there we go.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Kyle is had stuff to do today.
Yeah,
So
Life
it's
to lead.
you and me.
Mm-hmm.
People are probably wondering. And but he'll be back next week.
He'll be back to laugh at our comments.
It's hard to schedule a podcast every single weekend for 6 years straight without somebody missing one sometime.
I have to tell you that I have a couple of Dork Forests in the can,
Mhm.
and I want to get all of November and December because I'm traveling so much with all the family stuff and work.
Uh-huh.
And I, for some reason, can't face the scheduling. And most of the lists that I'm working off of are straight white guys. So I'm trying
What do
to
you mean scheduling. Oh, you mean the Dork
guests,
Forest
yeah,
guests?
Dork Forest guests, yeah.
Okay.
And so I have, I think it was two guys named Matthew and a guy named Mike in a row. And so, and
Give me
I
Max.
got a new Dork Forest t-shirt.
Cute.
Very cute, bright
like it.
green.
Mhm.
And then also, so my album comes out next month.
Cool.
And because my album comes out next month, and it was sort of paid for, the money that I used to pay for it is Dork Forest money, is Jackie and Laurie money, is donations that I received and that's what I used to pay for it wasn't really stand-up money that paid for it. It was COVID, me grinding it out,
Yeah.
and a lot of that. So Carmen Morales was like, you should make that staycation t-shirt, just the front design, and send it to all the super fans. And so,
Oh, that's a good idea.
yeah. And so, and Caitlin Gill is actually in an upcoming episode of the Dork Forest because she's printing t-shirts, and she'll also do fulfillment. So I'm going to have her print the design, and fulfill it. But what I have to do is come up with a list of everybody who's donated over $100.
Oh, nice.
And it's not that many people, but and then she's going to fulfill it. And and so I have to get their addresses and sizes and stuff like that.
So you put their names on the back. I'm just trying to think of like the Punchline used to do shirts at the end of the year and they list all the comics on the back who worked that year and give
like a thank you thing.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. And so what you could do is like break them into money chunks, but don't say 1,000 and over. Just say like the biggest Jackie Cation fan, medium but beloved fan, or something like that. Just break them into little, if you want, or you don't. You just put all their names on it.
I'm not going to put any of their names on it. They're just going to get it's just going to be the staycation logo with the word.
Yeah.
It's just going to be an album. It's going to be a very specific album t-shirt.
Cool.
that only the big donors that help me pay for it are going to get as a thank you. It's just
Of
like,
course.
and it's a really good idea, but it is another task. So I have to say
is.
that to some extent, I almost didn't miss stand up this week because I've been multitasking 1,000 admin things. And so tonight I may actually just go and hang out at a comedy club and pray for a set.
You'll get one.
Yeah.
I had to quickly figure out Pandora as soon as my album was released, because I was supposed to make these little intros for each track, a long
Oh,
time
that's
ago.
interesting.
And I was
Okay.
like, oh, I'll get to it. And so then it was already out when I got to it. But that wasn't as hard as it seemed when someone sends instructions and they're like, there's more than 4 bullet points, I immediately put it in a folder on my Gmail and I never read it.
I like to read
It's
just the first bullet point, respond to it, and then maybe read the second bullet point and then respond to it. After it's like a week goes by. If it's 7 bullet points, you're killing me.
Yeah. So, but it wasn't that hard. It was actually pretty easy to do. And then I added ones for all my road gigs, so it'll play in front of an album if the person lives or is listening like in Austin or San Antonio, about me being at the Creek the weekend after Thanksgiving, etc. Also with Fort Collins and Burlington. And I got to do Acme. That reminds me, got to do Acme.
Okay.
But that wasn't that hard. And now I'm like, ooh, I like to do it.
Oh, good. Because I got bored.
Yeah.
But I have to say that I'm going to Acme November 4th or 5th for their 30th anniversary. And that'll be super fun, but I'm only doing one 20-minute set because it's an anniversary weekend.
Yeah,
it's
so
kind of a festival. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Mary Mac did this weekend. And so you do Acme's podcast if you do Acme usually.
Yeah.
The headliner does. And so Mick is doing the podcast and Lewis is in the audience. And so she got to ask Lewis a question I've never even thought about asking Lewis. And Lewis answered it. And he answered it in such a 1991 way that it made me laugh so hard. So Acme opened in 1991, Acme in Minneapolis, right? So Mick was like, hey, why did you name it Acme? I always assumed he named it Acme because comedy club owners name things after weird comedy things. And I thought it was a Wile E. Coyote Roadrunner thing, right? And he answers it and he goes, because it starts with an A and there was no internet. And in the phone book, Acme Comedy Club comes up first before the Comedy Gallery. Wow. You have frozen, which means that maybe I froze. This sucks.
Are you back?
I am back. I froze, I guess, huh?
You froze right when you said there was no internet. And it's like the internet was so angry with you for even reminding people. I think we're okay?
I think so. How do you feel?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
I mean, we could
No, I think
start over.
Yeah, let's just start over. You guys, it's 2016. We're gonna start talking. No, I think that I'll have him just check.
Okay.
But I think it's okay, actually.
All right. So like about 40 minutes in. But yeah, so just because it would be first in the club part of the Yellow Pages.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like it beat.
I can't believe you didn't name it AAA comedy. I mean,
well, the host guy asked him if he thought about naming it Acme or whatever, and that very question, and he was like, "No, Acme Comedy Company." And so, but it was like literally, it blew Mary Mac's mind, and it blew my mind when I heard that answer because I did not suspect such a thing at all.
Yeah, that makes sense. I that reminds me, like when I was working like in some Tribble run in the early 90s, And I just started. I got because it was in a hotel, so there was a phone book there. So I left voicemails for 3 people whose last name was Kilmartin. And I said, "Hey, my name's Laurie Kilmartin, and I don't know if we're related, but I'm actually at the Red Lion tonight. If you want to come to a show."
This is pre-Pandora, you guys. Well done.
I was individually calling potential audience members.
I'm in your town.
And I always call Laurie's, no matter even this day I call them. But yeah, so no one showed up as far as I know, which is classic Kilmartin, by the way. No support.
No support. What do you got this week?
Well, hopefully I'll get some little spotlets, tonight through Wednesday. Thursday, where my son and I and my mother's ashes are driving up to the Bay Area. We have the burial, or we're going to put her in the niche with my dad on Friday. So she finally gets to be with my dad. And then we drive back on Saturday. So I don't have much going on those 3 days. I don't think I'm going to do a spot or anything.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe I should just. Oh, I'm back on Facebook to fucking sell my album. Maybe I should ask the San Francisco Comedy Group if there's a show someplace I could just, on the East Bay, something in Oakland or something.
Yeah. But you could pick. I think Mike Kaplan's there. Not Mike Kaplan. I think Matt Kirshen is at the Alameda Club this weekend, but I don't know who's at the Alameda Club next weekend. You might be able to pick up a guestie there.
Yeah, or just like some little open mic, some little dirty open mic.
Sure. Dirty,
I just
dirty
want it to
mic.
be low key, dirty, no pressure.
I'm doing a lot of pressure. Doing Dynasty Typewriter on, I believe Saturday night I have a set.
Oh, nice.
But that's, I think, all I've got. And then Sunday is Halloween, and we always have like 100 kids.
Right.
We didn't last year because it was lockdown, but I think this year there's going to be kids.
Yeah, I think so too. We will be doing Halloween as well. We're bringing Charmy up with us. I'm renting a SUV because I don't want to drive this 2009 Corolla. I just feel like I know when I'm going on
You are correct.
Trip, I always rent a car,
Okay.
Yeah. So gonna have an SUV and have the dog, and I'm staying at a really shitty hotel that allows dogs and apparently has smoking rooms. So it's one of those.
Wow, it's the old times. It's the old days for sure. Smoking rooms and bring whatever you need. Yeah, there's a gun rack next to the bathroom.
Sure. Can you believe? Have you tuned out of Chappelle and all?
Yeah. What happened?
Oh, there was a walkout. A lot of employees walked out of Netflix to protest.
Oh, I heard about that. I did see that somebody asked me if I wanted to protest Louis C.K. at the Improv, Hollywood Improv.
Right. Yeah, there was a protest for that. He was.
I was busy playtesting something. I think. I'm so sorry.
I really want to focus on my act. Sometimes here's what Netflix should do is give specials to a lot of trans comics.
Yeah.
That
would solve.
I'm not against people. People can work. But also look at your lineups. Are there? How come there are no more? There aren't enough women. How come there aren't enough trans? You know what I mean? Let's. I'm not trying to take anyone's work away, but let's add work to other people as well.
I too, and I don't know if you've heard this term. It's anti-homogeneity, where it's not a quota system or making sure that you get 2 Black people, 2 trans people, 2 people who are developmentally, or who've got some other whatever minority or whatever you want, that non-white cis dude. Just make sure it's not all white cis dudes, right? And if you have 10 spots and 8 of them are dudes,
I saw a lineup.
I saw a lineup.
17 spots and 1 woman. I was like, how can this be? I don't so to me, that's what drives me nuts. It doesn't drive me nuts that Louis is working wherever he works, It drives me nuts that other people aren't working.
It only drives me nuts where Louis is working because I didn't want it to be I don't want it to be unsafe.
I don't think it's honestly, I don't think he's going to be doing that to anybody. Like I think he understands.
You think he might be done? You think he might be done with his sexual
Yes.
predatoriness?
So in terms of like, you can be in a room with Louis C.K. He's not going to jerk off in front of you and try to hide it. I try to tell you not to tell anyone, or he's going to ruin your career. Or, you know what I mean? Like, I doubt that's going to happen again. Even he has that much common sense. It's more of. To me, it's more of just this exhaustion of, oh my God, we got to rehab this guy and we got to make sure he still has his opportunities. It's like, do you have to put that much energy into this person?
Into that guy. Yeah.
And why don't we just put that energy?
Right. You're sick of, you're sick of how many chances everybody gets.
Yeah.
Rather than,
Yes. So, he'll do whatever he's going to do. And
his audience will be his audience. And
yes, there's people that want to see it, and, that's fine. They're allowed, and everyone's allowed. I just, I wish there were more women working all of these rooms.
Well, and here's a weird gig that I just looked up that I would show you a picture of if we were in person. Mm-hmm. But now I'm just going to have to type it.
Okay.
So this show.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Have you seen that there's 8 comics.
Right.
And 6 of them are men. But it doesn't make any, I don't even know what one of them is, but it's just, it doesn't make any sense to me, Anyway, so I'm just annoyed. I think I'm annoyed that neither of us were asked to be on that, because I think we're pretty supportive. But what are you going to do?
What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
I want 1,000 sets. I want to figure stuff out. I don't go on the road again until that first weekend of November. I figured out what to do about those challenge coins. Mm-hmm. And I've figured out some merch stuff. You went noir.
Guess what? Turn it off. Not good.
It's almost black and white. So
the other thing, like, at least Louis is doing new material.
Is he?
The other thing I hate losing out spots to is the people who aren't fucking writing any jokes. I'm more insulted by that than a rehab sex predator. Okay.
Who's
Go ahead. Sorry.
Who's not writing new jokes? That is also getting a lot of work. I mean, Chappelle's closer supposedly is something he's been working on for a couple of weeks.
I don't think I'm losing spots to Chappelle. No, I'm just saying, like, I see some people on lineups, and I'm like, every time I see this person, they're doing the same shit. And not that I hang around much, but like, whatever.
Yeah, it's there's dinosaur issues everywhere. And
quality control. Like, is anyone watching the shows?
Right.
Besides angry comics in the back.
Right. And making any sort of though I actually was talking to somebody today, and it was Augie. I was talking to Augie at lunch, and I was saying that I think that there not only are there dinosaur comics who aren't writing.
Yeah.
There's also, I think, dinosaur club owners.
Yeah.
Who aren't sort of updating their club or updating, the things. Yeah. Sure. And that, I think, has been a problem since, of course, the dawn of man, the beginning of it all.
It's before dinosaurs.
Before dinosaurs, it was just amoebas trying to be funny. And it was like, Jesus Christ, evolve. But there's no, I was just thinking about the clubs that I wish would just, I don't know, just fix your green room, fix your,
right.
You just had 2 years. Why don't you wipe down the light fixtures?
Yeah, yeah. Check it. Like Chris Gorbos at the West Side redid the entire room during, including the bathroom, which is gorgeous.
Right.
During lockdown. It looks amazing.
It looks amazing. Burlington is doing the same thing. So
Oh,
they're
yeah, wait,
expanding
I
and
need
figuring it out. It's going to be beautiful, right? And I just think that it was such an, was a
Yeah.
way to make fucking lemonade,
I think the Ice House is doing that. They are
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah.
Again, we must always acknowledge the genius of Bob Fisher for selling the Ice House months before. Like he owned it for like 40 years.
Right.
And he decides to sell it a couple months before the pandemic. Astonishing, just astonishing, right?
Yeah.
But he sold it to one of the
Lakers.
the family that owns the Lakers, so they can absorb it.
Yep.
And I guess they're renovating it and all this kind of stuff. So
Which-
that'll be cool when it comes up. You know what? That made me. What we were talking about though is like Lucian Hold at the comic strip. Did you ever know him?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I met him
So-
at Aspen, I think in 96. And
Whether
so he would always book me when I went to New York.
oh, that's
He would
great.
always book me.
That's cool. He was very opinionated, and often comics disagreed, and some rightfully, of their assessment of him. But he watched the shows, and he cared, right?
Mhm, mhm.
Tom Sawyer, who used to, he still works at Live Nation, but he used to own Cobb's, would drive comedians insane in San Francisco, commenting on jokes and stuff like that. But
Oh, he had some advice for me. Tom Sawyer did.
What
Yeah,
was
he
it?
did.
but was it?
I don't remember because I try to block it out. It was he's no Jimmy Brogan, but he's exactly like Jimmy Brogan because every time I worked for Tom Sawyer, he had advice.
Right.
So
But he did it out of love for stand up,
Yeah.
whether
As-
you agreed with his assessment or not.
entirely.
And I feel like some people are just like, they are, do you like stand up? Do you watch it? What's your favorite what's your favorite joke that you've just heard tonight at your
Yeah.
at the comedy club you own?
Right. At the
You know?
comedy club you own, whose stuff are you loving right now?
Yeah. Or
Like
do you
Lewis
even
will tell me
care?
Lewis will tell me stuff that who he really liked in the last, month or so. Like when I
Yeah.
talk to him, he's like, "Oh, you should have seen this or you should have seen that."
Yeah.
It means that he's watching,
Yeah, he watches.
He enjoys
watch.
stand-up comedy.
Yeah, he comes to at least one show and just sits and watches, right?
Right.
That's
When his kids
cool.
were younger, I think he needed out more. So,
But it's so funny that it's not funny. It's just weird. Like, so if you look at Chappelle's, like, when you do late night set, your hair is
I don't know
knocking my point.
I don't know what happened. I'm so
I don't know
sorry.
what happened either. Oh my God. Wow. Do you want to take 5 and just fix that?
Just keep talking.
But it's weird because as a comic, when you do a late night set, they pour over every single joke. It's like, well, let's just do the first half of this chunk, not the second half. Let's do, right? You all of a sudden have this incredible input you may not agree with
Right.
the booker, but you got to
Yeah.
do what they say because it's their show, right?
Right.
But then Netflix will be like, well, we expect an hour a year from this guy, and even though he's got to give us an hour, even though there's a pandemic, and they don't give notes to him. It's so strange on both ends of comedy where you are micromanaged, and then no one gives you any advice. Maybe
Yeah.
I don't know who.
There's a certain level. Let's
Yeah.
take a break, but I want to let's take one more break here.
Okay.
So because I want to say that the crazy thing is do you remember Eddie Murphy's Raw? I think it was
Yeah.
Raw. Was that his first one?
Yeah.
And it was 10 years of material, right? Or more. It was his first big special.
Wow.
Whatever it was,
how
if
old
that
was
was
he?
Raw. He was,
He was 19. He was on SNL, but when did he? Was he?
I think he was about 26 or 28, something
Okay.
like that. So
Okay.
it was his entire career an hour. And then they said, "Hey, next year do another hour." And it doesn't matter if there's a pandemic or there isn't a pandemic. If you don't have writers and you don't have time, you're not going to have another hour that's going to compare to your 10-year hour.
Right.
You just aren't.
Yeah.
And and it's hard to turn down the money. It's hard to turn down the attention.
Oh, and just so you're hot, strike while you're hot, and him not knowing he's going to have 30 years of a career and more, just thinking maybe I'm a flash in the pan. Okay, yes, right.
Yes. Everyone would say yes.
Yeah.
It's Banana Land. So
So I'm not like a massive Eddie Murphy fan. Was this second special not as
not as good? It was actually, this was back in the day when people were making me watch comedy specials, which is why I can't watch them anymore, possibly.
Right.
Because I'm just like, guess what? Somebody made me listen to all of Lenny Bruce's albums. Even the ones where he read the transcripts of his
I don't remember
trial.
laughing at. I feel bad because like it kind of feels like comedy history homework.
Yeah.
Which, it's not bad to do, but it's not like, I don't know.
It's homework, and
We're in a horrible art that doesn't age very well, which really sucks because it's really hard to have a body of work.
Yeah.
I don't
It
know.
really is hard to have a body. When you look back on it, you're just like, well, what is going to hold up? And if you think about, I mean, we talked about it a little bit last week, but it was like with Mel Brooks or Hitchcock, those there are filmmakers, and Mel Brooks and Hitchcock are two very, very different examples.
Mhm.
But for some reason Hitchcock does hold up, right? It doesn't I haven't actually, I'm talking out of my ass because I haven't seen all of Hitchcock. Some of them are very scary. So I haven't seen them.
Yeah, I'm not Doug Benson here. I don't know.
Right.
I'm not
Right.
Leonardo.
But
yeah. I don't know what the point you were making was, and maybe you don't either. And guess what? It's a free podcast, so we don't always land on something that we thought we were headed for.
But I do think you're right about that body of work business, because when I look back, I have 5 albums, right?
Mhm.
I guess now it's going to be 6.
Wow.
And it is, or whatever, 5 maybe, whatever it is. If I go back to that, I was selling my CDs and all I had left were the first ones, the Circus People albums.
Mhm.
And so at Maria's show, and all I had left were the Circus People albums. And somebody said, should I buy that album? And I said, no, I actually can't just sell you that album, because you saw me do 20 minutes in front of Maria, 25
Yeah.
minutes, and you're going to listen to this album. I don't like that. I want to sell you, if first album, I want it to be Bread. I want it to be the Bread album,
Mhm.
because the Bread album is the one that I made myself. It's half of that and half of the new stuff that I redid. It's sort of it was a best of with some new stuff
Yeah.
from the one that I burned on my desktop in the 90s.
Oh my God.
And Circus People came out in the middle of that. And so it is some good stuff, but it is whatever. It isn't my favorite.
Well, it's weird. Like musicians, they'll have their early music,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe it's not as good as their like recent stuff, but it's not bad. It's usually
Right.
not bad. They got it if they have a good voice. Like even early Adele, before she knew how to write anything, still gonna sound good.
Yeah,
right?
it's still gonna.
But
Yeah, it's
early-
gonna hook.
Early stand-ups, almost never.
Almost
It's like,
never.
you have the work you have to do to find something that's worth it. It's weird. It's just too bad we aren't rock stars.
Yeah, too bad stand-up isn't music. It's so different. So trying to get a body of work that is in stand-up is so interesting.
Yeah, there's while I was on Pandora just doing intros for the new chunks, the new bits, I was like, there's other things popping up from an early album I did a while ago, like in 2009. But if I was doing it in 2009, the jokes I started writing were like in 2005, 6, 7, whatever.
Yeah.
And I feel like going up in front of like half the tracks and going, hey, this is
Hey
Laurie
guys.
Kilmartin. I probably wouldn't do this joke now, but I hope you enjoy it and give me a thumbs up.
Oh my God, that would be so fun for people.
Really? I think I will
think
do that
I may steal that.
then.
Because what the hell?
Yeah.
I don't know how long we've done. I feel like we have like 2 or 3 more minutes to do here.
Hmm. You know, yeah, because we did ads and that took a little while.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, let's see. I don't know. I don't have much coming up this week. Maybe
We
I'm
didn't. You know what we didn't do?
gonna.
We didn't do the comic of the week,
What? Oh, Kyle, you have to put this in early
or we
too.
could close on it.
Wow. You know what? My album's out. Your album's coming out. We're crazy now.
We're all crazy. The world's gone topsy turvy. 6 years later, comic of the week at the end.
Yes.
And I worked with her. I think it was just a month ago, and is it? It's Shanna Christmas.
Shanna Christmas.
Shanna
Yes.
Christmas, and it's SHANNA Christmas, like fucking Christmas.
Yeah.
Her name is Shanna Christmas, and it's at Shanna Christmas everywhere you want to be. And she's freaking hilarious.
She's very funny.
I remember laughing in real life, and then I looked up a bunch of videos, and I sent them to you, and we both
Mhm.
laughed.
I'm doing a show that she's producing called Tits and Giggles, November 13th, I think, or 12th. But
Awesome.
here's my point is, very tempting to do a joke about the name. I have no idea if she does a joke like this, but if she were to do a joke about like Barron Trump and the conservatives came after her, she'd be like, oh, the conservatives are trying to cancel Christmas.
Shanna Christmas, you guys.
Shanna, that's free. You can have that.
That is so funny. I'm trying to think the last time someone. Oh, I know. There was a woman at the show 2 weekends ago, the Chicago shows, who was super drunk, but she
Yeah.
spent like $120 at the merch table.
Oh,
And then she touched my hair a lot. I am just reminded that she just sort of leaned in with her mask, going, "Hey, your hair is acting weird." And I'm like, yeah, I don't know how to.
but wait, how much did she spend?
$120.
I don't know. I think
It's prostitution. I let her do it.
you could. To me, that's 6 books, and here's my pledge to you: if you
Mhm.
buy 6 books after a show, you can touch not only my hair but a part of my body.
To be determined. TBD.
Your choice, customer's choice.